Welcome to Mindless Shenanigans, where the takes are hot, the jokes are wild, and nothing is off limits. Quick disclaimer: everything you hear is strictly opinion, personal perspective, or just flat out nonsense. We do not condone violence or violence behavior. Don't come for us. This is for entertainment purposes only, not facts, not legal advice, and definitely not safe for any sensitive ears. So buckle up and let the shenanigans begin.
Welcome to another episode of Mindless Shenanigans. I am your host, Sir Don, and we back at it again. Don't forget, like, subscribe, and follow wherever you find us, wherever you find your favorite podcast, whether it be Apple Podcasts, iHeart, Spotify, subscribe on YouTube. All right. Don't forget, it's at the top. So be there to remind you. So we need to get back to business. We got to get back to business. We've been on it for a while. We've been talking about it. So last week we talked about emotional discipline. How have we been doing this week? Have we been getting better? Have we been applying the methods? Have you seen the results? This week we got to talk about how you're gonna control the narrative using your emotional discipline. It's easy to walk into the emotional trap, making sure your reaction window increases because people say perception is not reality, and that's false. Because controlling the narrative is not just about how you react. It's about who defines the story in the first place, right? So whether you see it on social media, the news, the stuff you hear at work, the gossip, the rumors, the stuff they saying about you or somebody else, how do you handle that? How do you react to that? Because if they're saying something about you, they say, well, got to be some truth to it if enough people saying it. Is that your reality? That the perception? Are they reacting to how they feel? Are they using their logic when they talking? We gotta break that down today. Trust me, we're gonna have fun. Because the main thing you gotta remember, if you don't control the narrative, you'll be living to someone else's. So let's start on the surface level. The things that people see, right? So we talked about it. First thing, your body language. That's first thing a part of a reaction. Just because you're not vocal doesn't mean you're not reacting. Doesn't mean you're not triggered. Whether that be on social media, recent headlines, right? So we thought we was in something deep, right? Looked at scary for a minute, and now was it propaganda? Was it a threat? What was it? How did you handle that? What did you do? When you see these viral clips or these headlines about the person in charge making decisions, how do you react to that? Do you copy and send it to somebody that you know who you can go back and forth with? Do you send it to the group chat? You going back and forth your whole day? Y'all talking about that? You'll mess up your whole day. Now you thrown off. You gotta pull over. I get it. I get it because it can be disturbing. That's why we gotta watch what we do. That's why we gotta take a step back and pause. So when you just pause, just make sure you take a deep breath too. Take a step back because it might not even be worth your time. when especially on social media. Don't fall into the rage bait. Don't fall into the clickbait. That's what they want you to do. Take away your time, get your attention, right? Get you distracted. That's what the business is. And it's not just on social media neither, but it's the biggest reach that everybody can get access to, right? So that's where we at with it. So social media arguments also creates trending outrage. So when you got trending outrage, you have a bunch of people who are going to engage with the chaos and the nonsense for the things that don't matter. Or let's say it does matter, but it's not the truth, right? So people want to put their opinions on things, which they have the right to do, but let's focus on the things that's the truth and that matters, right? Because when we engaging in things that are fake, that get you to respond, now you're falling obviously right into the reaction window. It's going to get you triggered and you're going to respond. And now you're falling right back into the cycle. And we talked about that. We don't want none of that no more. So make sure when you're responding that you also are aware of what's on the surface, whether that be on social media or in person. Because in person, when somebody says something to you, that whether you agree, disagree, or like, don't want to hear it, or it goes against your agenda, your response says enough. That's when you really need to pause. Every time you hear something you don't like, you need to pause. Just pause. Because once you start using your emotions in the situations, you're no longer seeing the reality. You're seeing a version of it. So make sure you use your discernment and make sure you're realizing the difference to when you're reacting and what you're responding to when you're seeing something, when you're hearing it, and when you're seeing it. Because those are all the things that get you triggered, especially when you have it right in the palm of your hand. You can see it over and over and over. Is that worse than a memory when you're living in it in the current time? Nightmare replaying in the palm of your hand. You need to keep scrolling. The situation itself, make sure you frame it the right way too. Because how many of us, yes, you heard of deja vu, we're in the same situation, but you may get a different outcome. So when it's an incident on a recording or we see it, we get point of view angles. It's something from this angle over here that wasn't caught over here. It's a reason for that. It is beneficiary to have other viewpoints and people looking in on it, right? But when it comes to social media, you might see something uploaded where it's just enough of the clip to get you triggered to get a perception of something that's not even true. How many of us seen that? Drop a comment. It's too many times that you got people out here rage baiting for clickbait, spreading false information just for clout. And we gotta do better than that. Context matters. I don't care what anybody says. Context matters. It's not an excuse. It's an understanding to make sure there's no misunderstanding of the situation presented. So if you were late and it's because you misplaced your keys or you overslept, it's not an excuse, but you need to just, I'm just running late. Okay, well, you running late because you either irresponsible, more likely. Now that it sound like when you tell me that especially if it happens more than often than once, right? Or now you coming in and somebody don't, let's say, return phone calls or respond in a timely manner, or they ignoring you, or they busy. What's the context behind what they not, with why they're not on social media? When somebody say something that grabs your attention, makes you stop and look at it, but then you say, well, that don't make sense, or it sound like something missing, and that's the reason, right? Especially when we have people who are um, known for maybe saying something that people may generalize as outrageous, wild, or some type shenanigans, right? But in reality, the perception that people are giving off isn't given the full context of what's being said. Every day, somebody get misinterpreted because somebody's not using their logic and responding, but reacting with their emotions. That's the reason why we miss a lot of things. That's the reason why messages get missed. So make sure that when you do see a clip, you get the full context of it, because make sure you look at the narrative behind it. Narratives are built, not discovered. Those clips, or some clips, different point of views, are given to make you react, to get you triggered. Otherwise, why would they be missing the full context or only giving you a certain point? Because I'm going straight up ask. I'm asking for clarity. I'm asking for context straight up. If you got a problem with it, then you need to turn back around and figure it out. I said what I said. Just make sure you heard me. Make sure you hear me too. And y'all trip. The manipulation part of it is what's the hardest to figure out, right? What's being presented to you, right? So that's why using your logic first and reacting later can help. Because when people react, that's the pushing narrative. That's a pusher story, right? So, for example, you walk up to your coworker, you might ask them something, and if you do what you think is right, but if their response to what you think doesn't fit the situation, are you at fault for your response? If you ask your partner something and they might be having a bad day, long day at work, they haven't communicated that with you. But if their response is harsh and rash and they don't turn it back to what's going on, then what's going on? Don't get baited to react. Pause. Use your reaction window. Open it up. Take a step back. I would think most of us have all had a time where we didn't take that pause or just reacted. Now, were you manipulated? Were you triggered? What was your perception of the situation? Because some people will gaslight you, right? How many people have been at work and your coworker have asked you something, knowing what your response would be and how you would feel, only to make it aware or remind you of a situation that makes you feel uncomfortable. What is your response to that? Are you going to yell and scream? You going to cuss them out? You going to laugh it off? Or you going to remind them of their own mess ups? Yeah, hold yourself accountable, but hold them accountable. But then make sure you also ask the context behind it. Because why are you bringing up old stuff? Then is it what's going on in front of you right now to worth making sure it's being brought up? Because if it's not, you need to know and be aware you're walking right into a trap. You're now being manipulated. Find out what that intent is. Take a deep breath and pause. Just hit the button. Just hit the pause button. That's all you got to do. You can even tell them, oh, well, thank you. Walk away. Everything don't have to be worth a response. They want to make sure that you get a response out of you to push a narrative. Just like on the algorithm. Just like on your social media. Just like on your feed. When there's content out there to get you to engage on there, to say something crazy, to type your comment, that's to make sure the narrative is pushed. Remember, it's not even about who's first. Sorry, it's not about who's right or who has the truth. It's about who's first. Let's get that clear. It's not about who's right. It's about who's first. And that's the problem in today. Let's get the facts straight. All these influencers, the social media, the perception that can be pushed based on what other people share about them or clip up. Come on. You done seen it. How many of you are fans of somebody that has a large following and you seen a clip of maybe some of their lowest moments that show them? The caption shows that there may be ill will, irresponsible, not mentally stable. It's just all negative, right? Because of how that's clipped up. Just no different than like a documentary or a series, right? It's to show you, to get you the narrative that they're wanting to push based on an agenda. I'm going to shape it to get you to see that certain way. And that's it. That's all. If the truest story won, there wouldn't be any chaos. But then how do you know the truth? So that's why the louder story usually comes out on top. Regardless of the outcome or the result, it's always what's loudest. When you react, you spread the chaos as well. When you argue, you fuel it. So it's a way to get your point across without being emotional. It's a difference between an argument and a discussion or a debate where two people can disagree and still get their point across. An argument is where you're trying to get your point across using your emotions, because you want somebody to feel something, not hear. Otherwise, you would talk with your logic, not with your emotions. I said what I said.
So again, next time you feel like you want to argue or get your point across or elevate, take a step back, hit the pause button. Tell them it ain't worth your time. Tell them it ain't worth your time. Because the more you engage, the more you validate it. And that's what most people are looking for anyway, validation. Whether that be attention or anything else. They want to be validated. They want their point to be proven. They want to be heard. Everybody wants to be right. And that may be natural, but at what expense? They want to bait you so you can do the things that fit the narrative. If you're known for the person that's loud, reacting, different things like that, yeah, they gonna say something to make sure that you react. It might not even be nothing that recently happened or anything that fits into the context of what's going on. But even if you argue it, you feel it. Apparently. Silence is a power. It's a form of emotional discipline, though. Just because I don't react doesn't mean I don't feel anything. Just because you haven't seen it, that means you beware because it's coming. That's where most people mess up at. Because you're definitely going to feel it. I can show you, better I can tell you. That's why sometimes arguing it, let them say what they're going to say. And then show them. Let them be the one to prove themselves wrong. Because you can go back and forth all day. But what does that prove? I've done it myself. And I know better now. So when it gets to that point, don't do it. We with your partner. And you trigger them. Be aware that they're talking to you with your emotions. So don't fall into the trap of when they're triggered that you also fall into they want you to feel what they're feeling because of the miscommunication of how they're expressing how they feel. And when you're dealing with your emotion, you're not going to use your logic to communicate. But that's natural for everybody. That's why we got to pause, take a step back, and have a bigger reaction window. So then you can respond, not react. You're going to feel something. But what you do about it is definitely more important. So remember, don't react. Don't allow the story to win. Your reaction pushes the narrative, whether that be online or in person. Some of us have had rumors said about us. What is your response to it when you hear it? Do you walk up? Do you find a person who's playing telephone with your name? That's an old school game. People whispering, saying those things. Just because you're silent doesn't mean you're weak about it. Remember that too. Every reaction can't help the narrative grow. I'm not saying don't defend your name. That's not what I'm saying. But learn how to shift the power. Learn how to control the narrative. If you question everything, you don't react instantly. Choose the attention and the type of energy that you're going to give to it. Make people feel your presence too. It's power. Silence. how many people have let people, quote unquote, suffer because you're in silence, because you're not reacting, giving them the response that they're looking for, because they thought they tricked you. They thought they gaslit you, but you're just still watching them to respond, waiting for you. It's power in itself. That's even better than reacting, right? Watching somebody get upset because you didn't do what they wanted you to do, because they want to push a different narrative. It's time to take it back. You control it. Respond the right way. Give it the right energy. Don't let the rumors and the talk confuse you. Don't let it distract you. Don't let it discourage you, because it's going to be there. It's not going anywhere. It's always going to be over your shoulder. It's always going to be behind your back. There's more coming too. So you better learn to pause, step back, hit the mute button, right? Tune it all out. When you do pause, you need to use that time to get clarity. Don't have anybody rush you to respond, because it's up to you to give the attention and the energy that it needs. You write the narrative. You write your own biography. It is also your job to make sure the perception is that what you give off, right? No, you can't control how people feel. You can only influence it. So make sure that you respond in the right way, right? If you don't speak up, people will take silence for weakness. And yes, silence can be power, but make sure when you are talking that your response is with clarity, your logic, not emotion. If you can control your attention, you can control the narrative in your life. You can control how people approach you. You can control how people respond to you when you ask them something. That's all it is. People are going to believe what they want to, but you're going to respond to what you want to. Don't respond to what triggers you. Respond to the truth. You talk to them. I'll listen. Don't forget, your attention, your energy, and time all can take your energy. All can distract you. How you put those together using your emotional discipline can change your energy and direction of how you move every day. Your purpose, the intent. It'll define what you do. The more and more we practice and get better at it every day, the easier it is to take that step forward with your purpose, with the intentions. Because one thing you don't want to have a misstep is people not understanding your intentions based on what you do and what you say. That's why we have to react the right way. Because you can't get mad if somebody misinterpret or misread because you weren't clear, because you were talking to them with your emotion and not your logic at the time. So yeah, Be clear on what you say. Make sure how you feel is also known. But make sure you respond with your logic first. If you feel like you got to yell and scream, do that. Just do it in private. It's also easier said than done. We just got to get better. Ignore all the chaos. Block out all the noise. No, it's not going anywhere. But one day at a time, if you get better, it will get easier. Don't forget to like and subscribe to Mindless Shenanigans on everywhere your favorite platforms. I'm Teflon Don. Sir Don. Go ahead and hit the follow button. We love y'all. We see y'all. Make sure you see us next time.
That's a wrap on this episode of Mindless Shenanigans. We appreciate you tapping in and vibing with us. If you laughed, learned, or yelled at your screen at any point, go ahead and follow us everywhere. We're on Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, Twitter, all of it. Just search Mindless Shenanigans. Don't forget to subscribe, rate the show, and share it with someone who needs the shenanigans in their life. New episodes dropping weekly. Until next time, stay